Question 13. You have 2x plus 3 over x minus 2 square plus 2 times x minus 2 in brackets plus 1. For what value of x is the expression above undefined? Same thing, we have to equate this to 0 and find the value for x. Let's find that value for x. Looking at this question, there are two ways of solving it. The method a usual student will use and the method an experienced student will use. Let's start with the method a usual student will use. First, you would have to, in both cases, equate the denominator to 0 because we are trying to equate the denominator to 0. So you have x minus 2 square plus 2 times x minus 2 in brackets plus 1 equals 0. You simply have to factorize. A regular student would expand before factorizing. Let's do that first. You have x minus 2 square. X minus 2 square is same thing as x minus 2 in bracket x minus 2. Then here you have plus. These two affects both the x and the negative 2. So you have plus 2 times x will give you 2x. You have to be very careful here. Some students make mistake when it comes to this. Then you have plus 2 times minus 2. This 2 owns this negative. Positive times negative will give you negative. 2 times 2 would give you 4 plus 1 equals 0. You have to expand this. You can either choose to write this twice, then the first one gets multiplied by the x and the second one gets multiplied by the minus 2, or you can say x times x times minus 2, then minus 2 times x and minus 2 times minus 2. Still the same outcome. You have x times x squared, x times negative 2, negative 2x. Negative 2 times x will give you negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 2, you have to be very careful here. Negative times negative will give you positive. 2 times 2 would give you 4. You still have plus 2x minus 4 plus 1 equals 0. Even if you want to follow this method of solving, if you are above regular, you can expand this without going through this process. If you have x minus 2 square is same thing as a minus b square, which equals a square minus 2ab plus b square. That's this x represents a and 2 represents b. So expanding this, you would have x square, then you have minus, that's this 2ab. So you have 2 times x, which is a, that's 2 times x times 2. B here is 2. So you have 2 times x times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times x is 4x. So you have negative 4x plus, it says b squared. B is 2. So 2 squared, that's 2 to the power of 2, which is same thing as saying 2 times 2. That will give you 4. So if you understand this technique, you can save more time. So you'll be having x squared minus 4x plus 4. If we still further simplify this, we'll still get the same x squared minus 4x plus 4. So we have x squared, you have minus 2x minus 2x. You are owing 2 and you are still owing another 2. That means you're owing 4 in total. That will give you negative 4x. Notice you didn't add it to this x squared. They are not like terms. Though they have x, this x is to the power of 2, while this x is to the power of 1. So they are not like terms. We still have plus 4 plus 2x minus 4 plus 1 equals 0. You can further collect like terms. You have x squared minus 4x, then you have plus 2x. This 2x owns this positive. So you have plus 2x. There's no other value with x. So we take plus 4, don't forget that, minus 4 plus 1 equals 0. You have to be very careful. Next, you have x squared minus 4x. This 4x owns this negative. Minus 4x, you are owing 4. Ignore the x for now. Plus 2x. So you have minus 4 plus 2. You are owing 4 and you have 2. If you pay the 2 you have from the 4 you owe, you still be owing 2. Because what you owe is more than what you have. So you have negative 2x, then you have plus 4 minus 4. Or you say 4 minus 4, that's 0. 0 plus 1 will give you 1. That's plus 1 equals 0. At this point, having a standard quadratic equation, we factorize. Since the coefficient of x squared is 1, it's quite easy. You just need to concentrate on the constant and the coefficient of x. The coefficient of x is negative 2. The constant is 1. So you have to look for two numbers that will multiply to get the constant. That 1 times 1 will give you 1. And when you add the two of them together, you get negative 2, not just 2. All you need to do in a case like this, for you to get a positive, when you multiply them together, and get a negative when you add them, is that you introduce negative to both values. So you have negative 1 times negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 will give you positive 1, or will give you 1. Negative times negative will give you positive. 1 times 1 will give you 1. So the two values are negative 1 and negative 1. That means we change this negative 2x to negative 1x, negative 1x. So we have x squared minus 1x, that's minus x, minus another 1x plus 1 equals 0. We take the first two and pick out what is common. In x squared and in x, you have x common. So we take out x, you'll be left with. If you take out x from this x squared, that's 2 x's, you'll be left with 1. So you have x left minus, x divided by x is like saying 2 divided by 2 to give you 1. So you have 1 here, you close your bracket. Then you take this negative x plus 1 as the second group. And in cases like this, when it seems that there's nothing common in both of them, 1 is common. And also, when you have a negative here, you don't want the negative. So you take the 1 out with the negative. So you have negative 1 common. Open your bracket. You don't have to waste your time solving. Negative 1 just changes the sign of this negative x and this plus 1. And I said in the previous question, you just need to repeat what is in the bracket here to save time. So you have x minus 1. You can solve for it equals 0. If you divide minus 1 by minus x, you get x. Negative divided negative will give you positive. X divided by 1 will give you x. Then you have plus 1 divided by minus 1. Positive divided by negative will give you negative. 1 divided by 1 will give you 1. So we have this. We take one of these two identicals. You have x minus 1. Then we join this x and this minus 1 in another bracket. You have x minus 1, close bracket, equals 0. You have x minus 1 equals 0 twice. So it's the same thing as saying x minus 1 equals 0. You can take one of them because they are the same. You still get the same result. X equals minus 1 crosses the equals sign, turns to 1. X is 1. So the answer to this question is x is 1. The summary of this method is you expand, you simplify, and solve for x by factorizing the quadratic equation.